All right, the late night happy hour, late night pod is here on a Monday. Adam Hill is here, looking refreshed after an arduous Monday show in Cofield and Company. And Von Tobel struggling with the cat already. Tough, man. It's tough being a cat owner.
Well, my wife keeps making the mistake of hanging her bra on the door handles, and so that's just battering, fodder for kittens. So that's what I just had to say. Yeah. Except, she's got her claws. So if I don't do it, then in the morning, be like, Jonathan, why didn't you move my bra? And I'd be like, well, maybe you should stop hanging them on the door. She also just got her cone off. So she's especially cantankerous and active. She's liberated for the first time in how long has she had that on? 10 days, I think. So she's pretty happy.
Adam, do you want to go with the obvious question?
What's obvious?
The cone off who? The cat or your wife?
Oh, okay.
The way you said it, you never said the cat again. I was like, wait a second. What?
Okay, yeah, the cat just got her ovaries ripped out. So,
all right,
snatched.
She's an ODB. What up?
Sure.
All right. So, do we start with the obvious? Where do you guys want to start?
You mean the domination of UNLV players tonight in the NBA, Steve?
We could do that. I figured Bills was topic du jour. Saw a lot of strong reaction to Josh Allen and the Bills tonight. What'd you guys think?
I mean, like we talked about in the gambling spot, you put a little on Patriots plus 7.5, right? But best number available, and over that key number, thought they'd be a little bit more competitive. But I think if you look at it from the Bills' perspective, or at least from my perspective, I think I've undervalued this team a little bit. Up to this point, they're pretty good. The defense has its issues, and maybe some good teams can exploit that, i.e. the Chiefs, because there doesn't really seem to be any overly good teams in the AFC. And Josh Allen is just playing his role perfectly. I don't know. We can talk about the whole elite QB thing and what's going on with that, but it just seems to be that this offense, everything just fits perfectly together. And that's a really good thing for them, obviously.
Yeah. They designed an offense perfectly to take advantage of what he can do. They've done a great job. I didn't think anybody could get to this level after those 2 seasons. Again, they went into it tonight. 2 straight years as the least accurate quarterback in the NFL. You don't come back from that. And he did. And you got to give the organization credit for sticking with him and for building an offense that he can thrive in. And there's a lot of things. I thought Belichick did a good job early again, like he did last game, of if you don't let Josh Allen go right, he usually can't do anything. He had to stay in the pocket and make some throws. Now, again, it's wide open receivers, just wide open guys. But the throw to Diggs, right? Second window throw. That is an impressive play. Nope. For some reason, nobody ever talked about it on the broadcast, or they just said, "Whoa, what a throw!" It wasn't a great throw. It was a great decision, a great thought to wait for him to come open in the second window after the Patriots shut down the first one. But nobody gives credit, and those are some of the things that still drive me nuts. And John, we dealt with this a couple weeks ago against the 49ers. That's one of the better games you're going to see a quarterback play. And when he gets hot, obviously the talent is there, no question. When he gets hot, he plays really well. But a couple weeks ago against the Niners, he made all these great throws, right? He had one that was a pretty bad throw that resulted in a touchdown. And you pointed out on Twitter, and I pointed it out on Twitter, come on, man. The guy's had a bunch of great throws. This is the one you're going to pick to highlight. It wasn't even a good throw. And then the Bills fans got furious. And I was like, wait, I just said he had a bunch of great throws. What are you talking about? This is insane. I was like, this was not a good throw. If this is the throw you're highlighting, you're making a mistake. This is a bad throw. Focus on the great throws.
CJ Carts fan says, here we go. Waited all night for the Josh Allen bashing.
What bashing? Again, how many times have I said, and I said again tonight, he's having a very, very good season, a great season. He had 2 bad, nothing will ever change. Nothing will ever change the awful first 2 seasons. Again, they talked about it They talked about it again tonight. 2 straight years as the least accurate passer in the NFL. I don't think it's ever happened before. And especially has never happened when then somebody has a good 3rd season. So, is this the real player? I still don't think so. But nobody can take away the fact that this was a great season. Now, and again, it's the fact that people get carried away, right? On no planet is Josh Allen having the season that Rodgers or Mahomes has had. On no planet. And you can't make an argument that he's the MVP. It's Mahomes or Rodgers. But people are MVP. Like, why don't you just accept it for what it is? A great season. Not the best season. He's not the best player. He's having a great season. But do we give him credit for being unexpectedly great? I guess. Most improved player, sure. But he's not in that conversation.
The NFL totally needs like a most improved player or something like that. It would be a cool thing to look at every single year, and the criteria for different players. He would definitely be the winner there. Because look,
Adam has described him on Twitter and on this video as having two. What was the word?
He was the least accurate passer in the NFL in 2018 and 2019.
Right. So he had 2 awful years, right?
Yeah.
So he's the comeback player of the year.
No, you can't. It's Alex Smith. You can't even. That's not.
He's the comeback player of the year. He had 2 awful years.
No. He's the most improved player.
But isn't the connotation
Alex
for
Smith
comeback
played like 5 games? Who cares?
Right, but it's comeback. Let me they've come to mean
he came back from 2 awful years.
Well, that's not coming back. That's improving. That would mean he was great and then got terrible and then got great again. That's a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought there was a connotation of injury to come back anyway.
They've made it that. I don't think it necessarily is. They've made it into that. That's like that's how they make.
But I'm curious. Actually, no. But Steve piqued my curiosity. Like, I wonder what the parameters have been for the last few winners of comeback player of the year. I know. Like, I think Luck won it a couple years back, and again, that was an injury thing. But Tannehill did Tannehill win comeback player last year? Who won it last year?
That's a good question.
Because
Tannehill obviously was great,
and he would fit Steve's parameter of
Ryan Tannehill did win last year. So what was his major injury?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I've just piqued my curiosity because there are comebacks who have been predicated on injury. And now Tannehill, that's a good one because he went from, top 10 pick, then sucked, then was awesome, and then won comeback player of the year. Interesting.
He's the winner then. It's not even a race unless you want to give it to Big Ben.
But I still agree with Adam, though, because the comeback insinuates a comeback for, like, you were good, then you were bad, and then you were good.
I already answered the insinuates part. It's not the case, so. Phillip Rivers won it in 2013 after a down 2012. He was never injured.
Right, but wasn't he good the year before?
That's what we're saying, though. We're saying his performance was like good. Phillip Rivers had a bad year, then came back and was good again. Right? There has to be a good before the bad, then the good to be a comeback player.
No. 2 years before he won comeback player of the year, he threw 53 touchdowns and 35 interceptions.
And then went down, right? Right. Did he not go down at all?
2 years before, he had 53 touchdowns and 35 interceptions. In 2013, he threw nearly 70% completion at 32 and 11.
He won comeback player?
He won comeback player of the year in 2013. I'm looking at it right now.
So he was just good every year? Like, how do you get comeback player of the year then?
I don't know. People love him.
We got to look at the candidates. Who's the runner-up?
The internet loves him.
Maybe the runner-up doesn't have a good enough story,
Yeah.
But I already answered. Ryan Tannehill came. I mean, the amazing thing is, what did Ryan Tannehill come back from? He was never great.
That's a good point. He overcame. Like, he actually.
When he finally arrived.
When he
That's
came back,
he finally delivered on his potential.
Yeah.
Wait, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, Phillip Rivers went. His QBR was like high 60s every year, and then 2012 it was 42, and then he came back with a 75.
What was 2011?
He was great in 2011, terrible in 2012, great in 2013.
He was great with 27 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. His quarterback rating is identical in 2011 and 2012. Fuck QBR. His rating was 88.7 and 88.6.
Phillip Rivers.
The next year it was 105.5.
Right, but I'm saying he went down in 2012.
No, he went down in 2011 and 12. He had the same exact rating both years.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he went from, but he was good before that. That's what we're saying.
But that's not what you set up. You set up. He had one down year and then he came back. He had 2 down years.
Okay.
No,
Steve, what we're saying is you have to be good and then go bad and then get good again to be a comeback player.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You can't win a Josh Allen discussion with these guys.
How is this a Josh Allen discussion?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I just said Josh Allen deserves comeback player of the year.
Right.
But you have to be good first,
right,
and then get bad, and then get good again.
And hold on, Adam and I are just arguing your criteria. We're not arguing.
It's not even about Josh
Allen. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to have been good by your standards to come back, or by PFF standards. Okay.
I just view it as a graph. Like I said, like Josh Allen, his career arc has been like this, and then he's been great, right? Like this year, he's been kind of even, but he's at the same level the first 2 years, and he was great, right? Philip Rivers
I would say when you make the playoffs, you're like this, and then you jump up and go higher.
Right, but he was the least accurate quarterback in the NFL. That was on the broadcast tonight. They talked about it.
But they won. It's not the only measure of a quarterback.
It's not. No, the accuracy is not a measure of a quarterback.
Did I just say it's not a measure? It's not the only measure.
Sure, right, but what else? I mean, what else was there for him? He wasn't a good. It was the number one defense in the league last year.
Right, and by the way, I think Treason says it perfectly. Josh Allen never had a precedent, right? It was his first 2 years of the season. His flaws were very apparent. Like his flaws were the same flaws the first 2 years. When you talk about going to the playoffs, their defense was relatively solid the year. Josh Allen is great. Like, he's been really cool. I feel like that's we can get into my angle on the whole Josh Allen thing. But regardless, this argument is just about criteria, what we've been discussing this whole time, right? As opposed to Josh Allen and how good he really is.
It's an award criteria argument.
Most improved, exactly. Right?
Yeah,
if there was,
we're lobbying for. We're lobbying for a most improved award.
Right. We're actually lobbying for an award for him. But Steve was just screaming at us for some reason.
But you guys are smarter than me.
Good. That's a good segue. I don't think that's even the case. I think there's just a misunderstanding of what the awards are. And the main thing is, if you really want to get into a greater discussion, is that the awards are it's just whatever the hell anybody wants. Like we've talked about MVP in the NBA, right? Is there ever a year where LeBron's not the MVP?
Yeah, like one of those things.
MVP every year, and that might affect Mahomes this year and Rodgers. Like, obviously, they're the best guys every year. Derrick Henry probably is the best, the most valuable player at times. But there's times he's also not.
No, Sean.
How many awards has Aaron Rodgers won? MVP awards.
This would be his third, would it not? If he won it.
Yep, 2011, 2014, and I mean, my ballot would be now Allen, then Mahomes, then Rodgers.
I mean, it's Rodgers and Mahomes are the only two candidates, and then you can kind of fight for 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Why is that?
And they're the two best teams in the league, and they're the two by far most important players. What would the Chiefs be if you took Mahomes away? What would the Packers be?
What would the Bills be?
I think the Bills they'd be probably a win or two behind, but they'd be up there.
Matt Barkley as a starting quarterback would have one win less than Josh Allen.
Well, I still think it would be Fromm, because I think he's kind of the separate COVID quarterback. But yeah, I think they'd probably have at this point probably, what are they, 12-3? They'd probably be 10-5, maybe 9-6. But yeah, they'd be up there.
They'd be 10-5 with Jake Fromm, a rookie.
I would think so. If you now again, we don't know exactly what happened. We don't know what he opens up. We don't know what he opens. I mean, again, you would have to see. But if you took Fromm or Barkley and put them in the exact same scenarios, it's like, hey, here's the throw you have to make. There's not that many throws that would be that much different. But yeah, he's important to the team, but not anywhere close to Mahomes or Rodgers. I mean, that's foolish.
I mean, in this scenario that we're talking about, I would be on Steve's side here. I don't know if they have 10 wins without Josh Allen, right? Or how many wins they have now, whatever we're talking about. If it's Barkley, if it's Fromm, like I think there's a severe decline there, because his athleticism has also bailed him out a lot. Like, he is a difference maker with the way he plays. Go back to the Rams game. Like, his athleticism at times was a detriment, and he got really hectic and was pressured, and it was a bad thing. But it also got him out of a lot of situations too throughout the season. So sure. I think there's a big difference. I think they're fighting like around 8. I still think they win this division.
But they had the stretch of 4 games where Allen was pretty bad. and I think did they win all of them, or they go 3-1? I think maybe 3-1 in them, and he was bad. And so, like, I do think that there's times, but again, listen, he's been. I don't know why we're trying to deflect from the fact that he's great, and this is the problem that I have with a lot of the Bills fans too. Like, accept that he's having a great season, right? Enjoy that he's having a great season, but go fuck yourself if you say that he's having as good a season as Mahomes or Rodgers. You're just being a fucking idiot then. Now you're trying to make a stupid argument for no reason whatsoever to like pump your guy up. He has been great, accept that and be happy with it. Why are you trying to make him Mahomes or Rodgers?
PFF is your diary. Where is do we have updated numbers
He's
after tonight? So if you're seventh, you're nowhere in the discussion near Mahomes and Rodgers.
Not near Mahomes and Rodgers, and I don't think Mahomes is 1 either. I think Mahomes is 3 on there. But yeah, he's not in that conversation. That's the most obnoxious thing. If you really want to get into it, obviously Deshaun Watson is head and shoulders above Josh Allen right now. He's just on a terrible team. So you're not discussing, we're not talking about him. But he's probably the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in the league.
Ooh,
he's not. That's the fucking problem, Patrick. Just accept that he's having a great season. Why do you want to think he's Mahomes or Rodgers? Why is that what you're trying to go for? Because that's an impossible measure to live up to. So now you're being ridiculous, and now you're allowing people to take shots at him. Just accept that he's being great, that he's having a great season. What is the problem with that? Why do you then have to go back and say, so he was okay last year? He was the least accurate passer in the NFL the first 2 seasons of his career. The least, the worst. Except that he's made huge strides. Hope that he continues to make these strides, and just enjoy that. Don't try to go like make it into he's Mahomes or Rodgers now. It's stupid.
So I think we're arguing like a whole bunch of different topics all at once. It seems
I'm arguing commenters and arguing people on Twitter that are and again, like people putting him in the MVP talk.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Well, like MVP is a different discussion than right. Like, is he near Mahomes and Rodgers type deal? Right. Mahomes and Rodgers.
That's his competition.
Right, but I'm saying, I think we convolute like just skill as a quarterback in general, as opposed to the seasons, and because MVP is partly narrative, and I think we forget that too. That is narrative driven by award, right? And so, if we're looking at everything, like for me, Aaron Rodgers number 1, I have Patrick Mahomes number 2, and I would put Josh Allen number 3. But again, that's just 1, 2, 3. If you're asking me what the difference between a Mahomes and an Allen for me this year, I think it's there, but it's not that big. Patrick Mahomes and Adam has been part of the problem for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is careless with the ball. He is well in the top half of the league. Well, let me finish. He's well within the top half of the league in terms of turnover-worthy plays, Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
If you have looked at their last, is it now 7 games in which they have failed to cover, all of them being 1-score games, he's a massive reason why they're kind of playing with their food and barely scraping by. That should count against him. I think we view Patrick Mahomes, as we rightfully should, as an insanely good quarterback, so he gets a pass for the issues that the Chiefs that have plagued the Chiefs in these close games. But at the same time, you look at Josh Allen. If he were in those same situations, would he be being praised for getting them out of there, or would he be kind of getting scuffed around for committing as many turnover-worthy plays as Mahomes has been? So I can understand the argument of putting Allen like number 2 in MVP voting. If we're talking about the grand scheme of things, who would you rather have? I think there's no question between Rodgers and Mahomes. Boom.
And I'm not even saying Josh Allen can't win the MVP. Like we said, like there's people that don't give it to LeBron. Like that shouldn't even be votes most of the years. It'd just be like, all right, here's his award, and then they vote against him for whatever reason. They might vote for Josh Allen. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. It's the worthiness that I would be arguing. And if we're going to say what would the record be, what do you think the Chiefs would be without Mahomes?
Well, but I do
would be without Rodgers.
I do heartily disagree, though. I do think the Bills might be like 8-8, 9-7 without Allen this year, and that's mainly because their division sucks. Like, right. Yeah. I think there's a sizable difference between the backup and Josh Allen. I mean, look, you guys do this all the time too, Steve. Ask anybody what the difference is from a point spread perspective from Josh Allen to either one of the 2 guys that are on the roster. I think it'd be a pretty good difference, sure, right, in terms of the point spread.
Sure.
I mean,
because they're winning games by.
Yeah, I was going to say so much of that depends on the backup too, though.
Right, but you were asking the question, right? You were asking the question: if they were going to start with, was it Barkley or from point per spread perspective, I would guess it's at least 4 points, at least.
Oh, I think it might be more.
Right.
I'm not making the argument because they're a different team. They'd be a much less dynamic team. They would just have to figure out ways to win in a different way. They wouldn't be blowing people off the field in a lot of these cases.
Right, but remember they were 7-2 at one point with like a 6-point differential or whatever it was. Like that difference is Allen. You know, I don't think they're making it through that stretch with just +6.
Well, he was putting them in a lot of bad spots early in the season. He has not last half of the season. The second half of the season. The second half of the season, he's been much, much better. The first half of the season, there were still a lot of real problems showing up. And I find myself in the second half, it's been different.
Steve, I find myself in both camps. I think there's no question that Josh Allen was really bad the first 2 years. Like, if you watch it, I don't think there's any question. But I'm also in the camp of he's shown real progress, and this can actually be real, and he looks pretty damn good. It's fun to watch.
Where do we disagree?
Yeah. He's my creative Madden character.
That's awesome. But that's the issue though. Like, to point out that he's been great this year, but was awful the previous two, and there should be some questions about whether this is real or whether it's Brian Daboll figuring it out. What, Doug? What the fuck are you listening to? Seriously, this is the shit I deal with on Twitter. I just said there's no question he's been great this season. How are you disagreeing with that? Like, how is that an issue? Like, what are we talking about here? There's no question that he's been great this season. You probably should still have questions of whether it's for real. You should. Like, you don't have 2 seasons that he had and then have this season and then just be like, well, this is what he is now. Because if that was the case, then after last season, you would have had to say, well, that's what he is. That's the season he had. So let's see what it is going forward. Let's see if they lose Daboll and what the offense looks like. Let's see if Stephon Diggs gets hurt and what the offense would look like, by the way. And how is there no Stephon Diggs MVP talk if we're going to do that? Like, what is that team without him? So, like, those are the questions. Like, let's see what it is going forward. But, like, this rewriting of history and saying because he's good now, he was good last year or good the year before, it's ignorant.
Ooh, wait, rebuttal really quickly. Adam, you say the system is so good because of the wide open throws that Allen has to make. So thus, wouldn't that devalue Stephon Diggs? Couldn't the scheme just keep him open?
Getting open? Sure, but I think a lot of it is Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen actually talked about it today. That a lot of it is just go get open, which I don't believe. But I mean that was what they were saying. And at times he just gets open and you just watch, he's just wide open. But then it's amazing that some of the throws that are unbelievable and that are great. Like, people are just like, oh, okay, whatever. And then throws that are to wide open guys. Like, he threw a pass to Stephon Diggs today where he was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. There's nobody on his side of the field. So we just stood up and threw it to him. Good decision, right play, great job. And I heard a great throw. I'm like, okay. I mean, what are we doing now? Like, now we're just giving him credit for everything in the world? That's insane.
Why do you care? I mean, that's the way of the world in the NFL.
No, I get mad every week.
Everyone, when they play well, is blown up beyond what they really are.
In a way, but I think they also, like, other places focus on like the whole team and talk about all their players. And it's only fair. Like, in a place like Green Bay, like, yeah, there's a lot of talk about Rodgers, but a lot of talk about Devontae Adams, a lot of talk about the Smiths, and like if you paid attention to this team, you would think they don't even have any of their players on their team.
Do you think intangibles count with a quarterback that really can't be measured? Like a personality, like the ability to, have dudes want to play hard for you. Like, we've heard a lot about the Diggs relationship with Josh Allen. Isn't that a feather in his cap? I mean, Kirk Cousins is a couple of spots behind in the PFF rankings behind Josh Allen, but Diggs wanted out. So I don't know. Did Diggs want out because of Zimmer? Like, Diggs seems like a new player. I mean, to me, there are quarterbacks who can make receivers get to the next level. I think Cole Beasley is a perfect example of that. Cole Beasley was a 4th receiver in Dallas. Now, he's healthy. But I mean, both of these guys have excelled with Josh Allen. Is it Allen or is it Dable?
I mean, I think it's Dable, but I mean, there's part of Allen that goes into that, I'm sure. But I also think that a lot of that is the winning, right? I mean, if you have I would imagine, and I could be completely wrong because I'm not there. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know. I would imagine that everybody for the last couple of years has looked at JJ Watt as like a great leader in the locker room and like, oh, we want to play for this guy. That's what makes our defense better. And then now that they suck, I'm sure they're like, go fuck yourself, dude. Shut up with your nonsense. Like, so I think the winning has a lot to do with whether you're looked at as a leader or just kind of a goof.
Does Diggs excelling put to rest your thought that Josh Allen is a racist?
No. First of all, I don't really think Josh Allen is a racist. He had racist tweets when he was a kid. The organization is racist. And if we really
in the Bills organization, who's racist? The owner, the GM? Is McDermott racist? Is it Tobel who's racist? Who's racist?
No. I actually think that they take on oh man. This is not reporting. This is complete speculation, just following it, right? I 100% believe, and nobody will ever convince me otherwise. And if you guys saw the story on Pagula and Mahomes this year, right?
Hmm.
There was a story out that said Pagula was begging the organization to take Mahomes. The owner was begging the organization to take Mahomes. I don't believe that for 1 second. I believe that's Pagula putting out a story. Like, hey, I wanted him. Because, they traded out of that pick and they could have had Mahomes. And I will 100% believe to the end of my days that the fans' treatment of Tyrod, and I've talked about this before, because, again, people like to ignore this. They're like, oh, you said pick Allen. No, if you remember, I wanted Tyrod as the bridge quarterback going forward, and I wanted him to develop somebody young. But the way that he was treated, which, as I've said, you go to the stadium and just hear N-word after N-word screamed at him. And I was not comfortable with that, and that's why I'm not a fan. And I don't know why people ignore that when they're like, you don't like Allen. Like, no, I don't like how they screamed N-word at Taylor. So stop making this about that situation. But I 100% believe that the ownership or the organization looked at what was going on and said, we can't have another black quarterback. We can't do this. Like, that can't be. Like, we can't have this going on with these people. And that they went away from it for that reason. And I'll believe that forever. And again, that's based on nothing except reading the tea leaves at the time and seeing what was going on. And I still can't find it, but there was a quote from Pagula. I said pure speculation at the beginning of it. I said that. But there was a quote that from Pagula that wanted a quarterback that stood up in the pocket and looked like a quarterback. What does that mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I know what I took it to mean. I know what I took it to mean.
You wanted a Vince Young type? Color didn't matter. 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, just a tall guy.
A proud one.
John, imagine this could be Cofield and Company like every day, at least one day a week.
Yeah,
what, Bills?
I had no intention of talking about it.
Bills quarterback talk?
You guys, I wasn't going to talk about it tonight.
I have a lot of tweets about Josh Allen, but maybe we overstayed our welcome.
Go ahead.
No, we got through it. Did you guys see Bob Kraft tonight?
Ooh, no. What happened? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Hey, he fell asleep.
Does he need a massage?
Well, let me punch up the tweet. He fell asleep, and I know the Levitard show.
Get out of here.
Got the picture.
That's great. I got to say, I think I said this to you guys before. I'm not really enjoying this as much as I thought I would. It's getting a little bit more enjoyable as Belichick gets a little bit more pissy. But I kind of want to both of them to suffer. Yeah, when he's throwing, he's throwing the phone or when he's asked about it and he's just sitting there in the press conference all angry, laid back. Like, yep. I'm starting to enjoy it as the season's coming to an end, but I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Who told Belichick to challenge that play?
That's a good question.
I mean, whoever it is, that's who he was yelling at. I mean, that's who he was yelling at, obviously.
Of
but
course.
I want to know who it was and, like, why they have enough influence over Belichick to get him to do that.
Well, I'm sure he didn't see it.
Furious.
I'm sure he didn't feel comfortable in the angle. A good leader trusts his staff. All right. So whether or not he swayed them or he's like, I trust you on this, Pete. And they did it, and Pete got fired, I'm sure. It was not.
Do you think the Patriots take a big step forward next year?
No. They got to suck for a while, right? Like I don't know. The thing that scares me is all the return. Like they had a lot of guys opt out, like
8
some
guys
decent
opt out.
right, and some decent guys, right? In
Really
terms of
good
their roles with the team.
55 million under the cap.
The big question is quarterback and what you do to address that. Like, do you go like I keep seeing
Stafford?
I guess the Broncos. Yeah, we'll see. It's funny because I keep seeing the Broncos and Stafford. I was like, I don't know why Belichick wouldn't try to get Stafford, right? Depending on what the price would be. Just a guy like that who you're like, let's get 2 years out of this, bro. I just need a guy who can throw the ball downfield.
Derek Carr.
Dude, we were talking. I think I told you this when we were at the Westgate. Or maybe I told somebody else. I'm a Colts fan, right? The quarterback situation is very shaky going forward. Don't know what's going to happen. Philip Rivers is only getting older. They're kind of develop Jacob Eason. If you told me right now that they wouldn't have to give up anything insane and they'd get a little discount on a guy like Derek Carr to be their quarterback for like 3 or 4 years, I'd be like, I'm down. Right? They like to run the ball. They use their tight ends a lot. Like, yeah, he wouldn't be a terrible option at all. I think Carr's a pretty good quarterback. I'll take him. Let's make this happen.
I think it would make a ton of sense.
Could Tyrod get them? Could Tyrod get them in the playoff race?
The Patriots?
Yeah.
It depends on all those guys coming back and what they do. Well, I've never said Tyrod Taylor is like the greatest quarterback that ever lived. He's really, really good for a team that has a solid defense. He asked the question.
I do have enough faith in Belichick and the money they have in the returning players that I think Tyrod for a year as a bridge could have them in the playoff race.
So do I, but I think it makes sense somewhere else, and I actually saw a column today about it. Football team.
Yeah. All right.
I think it makes a ton of sense there.
They need someone. They certainly need maturity at the quarterback position. Yeah, we can stop with this. Sam Darnold will be a Jet. They're going to build around Sam Darnold. So and the Jets ain't trading. That's the last thing the Jets are doing. They're stupid, but they ain't that stupid.
What,
they're not trading. Yeah, no, they're not trading Darnold in the division.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can do a fantasy Madden draft, and I'm going to put Derek Carr on the Colts. See how that works. I'll get back to you.
That's your dream?
Yeah. I mean, it's an unknown. What are they going to do? Right? They're not going to be in a good position to draft a quarterback, I believe. We'll see. What are we talking about? Like Trask, Zach Wilson, potentially somewhere in that range where they're potentially picking. Like
Zach Wilson. I agree. No. I've seen mock drafts because most of the people doing mock drafts have no NFL connections and are just guessing. I've seen Zach Wilson going number 2 to the Jets.
Get out of here.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see. I've bet every year. I've bet under on the quarterbacks in the first round prop. It has hit every year but one. I'm back to it, baby.
What I think Trask is better than Wilson, by the way.
Could be. He looks like a quarterback. Stands strong in the pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, he will be the kind of guy though, like Allen and like Justin Herbert, who will go to the combine and they'll be like, "Oh my God, look at this fucking guy. He's 6'5" and 240, and he can run a 4.8 or lower.
Does he have long hair?
He
can grow it out. I'm sure.
That's right. That's what we need.
Did you see that? I don't know if it's an old photo or what. Did you see that photo with Trevor Lawrence with a gun?
Oh, is that right?
Somebody posted it. I was like, "What on earth is this picture?" And I don't know if it's new.
Getting ready, man. He's going to Florida. What's the difference?
Well, that was actually how the photo was captioned from somebody.
Yeah.
That was like this guy, because it was like Trevor Lawrence like holding a gun like this.
Yeah.
And like trying to look tough, and it was like this guy's already ready for Duval County. And I don't even know if it was photoshopped or what. It was very weird. I was like, what is going on here? I just saw like an hour ago.
Yep, Doug, you are right. You never know. Before the draft, those 6 weeks before the draft get fucking crazy. So Wilson could go number 2. By the way, if this is a joke, I wouldn't be fucking horrified. If they can't trade back and get value, then yeah. I know one thing I don't want them to take. I don't want them to take a fucking wide receiver at number 2. The Jets.
Why would you?
Actually, I think I saw that projected. Didn't they have Chase projected to them the other day?
I don't know. I've seen everything. I mean, obviously, the goal for the Jets is to try to move back, whatever, 4, 5, 6 spots, get an extra first, maybe get a third, whatever. But don't take a wide receiver or two. I like their wide receiver core. So unless you can guarantee, I mean, this year's wide receiver draft was awesome. So I guess it'd be nice to get someone of that level, but that's not where the Jets need the most help. I mean, actually, the only thing those receivers need is just a little better luck and just to stay healthy.
They need to be healthy.
They're never healthy.
Must be nice.
All right, John. I want to hear about your Christmas. So, how crazy did you guys go with the kid?
So, like, personally, we didn't do much. We got him a couple of things, filled up a stocking with some cool little knickknacks, like tiny dinosaur, like plastic dinosaurs and stuff. That's his new thing lately, is dinosaurs. The grandparents did pretty much everything. It was a little ridiculous. I have to dude, here's the thing. I had this realization today. I don't know if you guys, this is not a shot at your age. I just don't know when batteries were pretty big for a while, right? Like, you guys really needed batteries in your youth?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Adam's more so. I'm talking to Steve too. Like, I'm terrible with these things. Batteries, Steve, they big in your youth?
Yeah, of course. They're big now.
All right. I just want to make sure. Like, I saw you guys had like pet rocks and stuff. So I want to make sure.
I never had a pet rock, but keep going.
But regardless, I had the panic today where like he had like another gift and he was like, Dad, batteries? And I'm like, okay, like, let me see if I have some. So I had to go search for AAA batteries and like unscrew the latch and like put new batteries in so we could drive Lightning McQueen around the freaking house. Like, dude, it was so ridiculous. So I now know the plight of needing batteries, which is insane. But I have to put together an art easel at some point because he got one of those he's going to use like one time. He got a new Paw Patrol couch. It's insane. It's just insanity over here. And
sounds nice.
Oh, man. For him, the other day I walked in. He's sitting on his Paw Patrol couch. He's got all his new stuff, Paw Patrol's next to him. And he's just like showing him the room. He's like, yeah, it's my closet. Like, like, it's ridiculous.
Weren't you making the case that Paw Patrol is sexist?
Oh, it is. So there's no question about this. This is ridiculous. So he gets a new dresser. I think I put this up on Twitter. He gets a new dresser at him, and it's like five. It's essentially, so it's five little. I guess they're called cardboard. They have the cardboard bottoms. You know what I mean? So they're like cloth drawers, but they have the cardboard bottoms to keep them firm. And there's one for each Paw Patrol, or like for 5 of them at least. So what is it? Chase, Marshall, Sky, Rocky, Zuma, and one of the other ones. Sky's the female.
Know all the Paw Patrol people?
Most of them, not all of them. But Sky is like one of his favorites. Sky is the little female Chihuahua dog, but she's not anywhere on the dresser. And then on the bottom, the big drawer, it's got all of the members of the Paw Patrol plus Ryder, their leader. He's like, I think like a 6-year-old kid. Sky's not on there. She's nowhere to be found. We got a packet of fatheads for him, right? Only one sticker of Sky. It's ridiculous. I want to know what's going on.
Clearly sexist.
Yeah.
I think they should be canceled.
It's ridiculous.
Even though they already were this year.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So you can still find episodes, though?
Yes. It has not been canceled. In fact, oh, dude, don't even get me started on that treason. That's ridiculous. How many scissors and knives I need to like cut out like a stupid like plastic double-decker bus.
Back in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Although
keep going. I have to keep going because I have to go get a gift that I got today at the front door.
Oh yeah, okay.
Final gift.
Right. Let me see this.
So Brady, thank you for sending us the. I don't know if you saw it, JVT, that Brady sent us the clip of Trevor Lawrence with a gun.
Oh, it's a clip. I just saw the picture.
You saw the picture?
Yeah,
No, it was just the clip was just a video of the picture. So
okay.
I guess he did. I don't know when that was. He looks like he's wearing a Florida shirt, so it probably wasn't when he was in college.
Oh no, this is not the one I saw. This is not the one I saw. Hold on.
What is that?
He looks like Yellow Wolf before the tattoos.
Okay. So what kind of, like, I don't even understand what he's going for, what he's trying to do in that photo. It's very weird.
It's a very tepid grab of the gun.
Yeah, he looks like he's not really experienced. Although I mean, I would probably look the same way. I don't know about anything about guns.
Right. Left hand down, across his chest.
Wait, do you know the proper way to hold a gun to look tough?
Well, I would think it's the don't you do it sideways?
Well, he's trying to hold, I mean, he's trying to show that he has the. He's trying to show he has.
Right, there it is. Thanks, Steve.
He's got it. So you're saying that it doesn't look tough, but because it's too tucked in. I also don't understand the left hand.
To be honest with you, so with the left hand, it you know what it honestly looks like? It looks like someone walked up to him and put the gun in his chest. It was like, hold this for a second. And he's like, what the hell, dude? Like he just grabbed it up against his chest and he's like, why am I holding this gun? He actually looks confused as opposed to holding it to look tough.
Okay, it looks like it's in his house though, right? Or a house.
Well, yes, that does look like a house.
So what I'm saying is like he's not out in public. It's not like some random person did it. He's taking a photo. Like he can't be that surprised or caught off guard. Like he's in the photo.
Where's he from again?
Florida, of course. I mean, I don't even know that. I'm just saying he looks like a guy from Florida.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he could. Let's see. He's from Knoxville, Tennessee. I just looked that up. That's a fact. Yeah. I mean, he was born there at least. I assume that's where you're from.
Okay, good enough. Cartersville High School, wherever that is, I don't even know. Georgia. He went to high school in Georgia.
So he went to high school in Georgia. From Knoxville, went to high school in Georgia. Because I thought that maybe somebody like gave him the gun and be like, dude, they'll love it down there. Just take this picture. You got to be pro gun.
Do we have do we have any concerns about the gun photo?
Like it's loaded?
Is this a character issue?
Oh. Oh, please.
Why does he have a gun?
It's a very good point.
I don't understand any of this. I still don't even know if it's a real picture. I feel like it has to be fake somehow.
It's a really good one too, actually, because the gun looks fake, to be honest with you. Like it doesn't look like a real gun.
Well, then what would be the point? I don't know. I don't know any of this. But again, does it go back to our like?
God, he's always had that neck, huh?
We all do dumb stuff in high school, but like, I don't know, man. You would think he would know from that age. He's old enough at least to know that he might eventually be like a star.
Hmm.
Like that he probably was a good enough high school player at this point. I agree, John. I have like so many questions about it, but I don't know like where we would ever.
Yeah. Well, see, so Kirk, I don't think it's a gun. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's a real gun.
You don't think so?
No.
What do you think? So you think it's just a toy? Like he's just playing around?
It just looked really funny. It did not look like a gun. It looked like it was almost wrapped in like duct tape. Yeah, right.
I think they should. They should be like, no.
There's hope, Steve. There's hope.
Because the way I saw,
you just got to release a gas mask bong video of him. And
I know. I really need to invest in some pictures to try to screw this kid over.
Just start circulating this one. But like to me, that photo looks like somebody like he fits in Jacksonville.
Like, could this knock you down in a draft if John? I know you're kind of young for the movie Fletch, but if people remember Fletch when he was a Laker. And they were talking about him being, I think it was 6'5", but 6'8" with the fro. Does a super long neck take you down?
Dude, that freaks me out.
Like a super long neck and a big head. Like you really have the body. Like Adam remembers. What was his name? Who was this? The Giant Silva. What was his nickname? Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
Like Bigfoot, his shoulder was probably at the middle of your bicep. Right. But his head was so long,
taller than you.
That he's actually a little bit taller than you.
Have you seen this person, John?
Well, he can see over the pockets. He can see over his offensive linemen. It's like a periscope, you know?
Have you seen Bigfoot Silva? Have you seen a photo of him?
No, let me look him up.
Look how big his head is. Like he's the kind of guy like we talk about our big hat size. Like he would never be able to buy a fitted hat. Like ever. They don't make them that large.
Oh, that's a noggin.
Really?
Yo, look at that chin too. That's great. That's like
that would be uncomfortable. Like I wouldn't draft that guy only because like I wouldn't know how my equipment person would get helmets.
Oh, I found the perfect picture.
Can you imagine that chin? That chin sticking out with a chin. How do you find a chin strap for that chin? That's incredible. There's no way. He looks like he talks like with a really deep voice. Is that true? It'd be really disappointing if he had like an insanely high pitched voice.
Like a Mike Tyson voice.
I don't remember. Do you remember how he speaks?
It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
not as deep as you would think, and he also doesn't really speak very much English, so it's tougher to kind of gauge the inflection sometimes.
I mean, I would assume Matt Radmanovich tried to book him on our show in a phone interview like 10, 15 times, right?
Is Matt here?
No, just an inside joke.
Okay. I figured if you were saying that, Matt would be in the comments. Yeah, I'm sure he did and said, like, hey, we've got a really bad cell phone for Macaulay on. It's perfect. The sound quality.
Oh, those were so annoying, dude.
Wait a second. Don't do it.
It's a long-running debate. Actually,
I'm a diva. For mentioning
it. I don't really mind that, the ability, to speak English, whatever it was. To me, as a producer, was the phone. It was always a bad phone. It was always a bad phone. Hey, Steve, it was so much fun. Yep. Olive.
Because they double and triple patch the phone. Right. So it'd be going through like 3 different filters by the time you got it. And then I would complain about it. And Matt Romanovich, who worked for the UFC, was always like, oh, the diva, was the phone okay? I'm like, no, it wasn't.
This phone sucked.
Oh, man.
I got him right here. Are you guys ready to go? I'm like, yeah, we're ready. Let's go. Get a move on.
Sorry. They're ready to talk to you.
Here's 6'7" Travis Brown, and Silva is 6'4" or 6'5". Look at how much lower his shoulders are.
Look at the chin, too, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like the chin, the jaw, everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know who's got one, too? I got to look this up now. We were, look at the Steelers tight end, whose name escapes me right now. Oh, Vance McDonald. Look at Vance McDonald's chin.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wow. Wait a minute. I'm gonna call you out on this one. You're basing this off the caricature that they do on the Fox broadcast.
No, they used his what's it called? They used his actual picture. Steve, you gotta look up Vance McDonald.
You're right, but they had a caricature of him. I think the Fox one that was just horrific. But yeah.
His jawline is insane. Like his chin is insane.
It's long. Like it goes way across. Right.
It's superhero. He's got a superhero chin. Like it's nuts. That deserves to be hanging like under the cowl of Batman. You know what I mean?
I would say Bigfoot's really good. Bigfoot Silva's chin and his whole head reminds me of the McDonald's Moon guy. Sing the Big Mac Tonight song. Right.
By the way, is this true? Is Kirk accurate on this, or is he busting chops? While I was gone, you agreed to go camping and shoot some guns.
What do you think?
Oh, you're anti-camping?
Yes.
Isabel's really anti-camping. I've been trying to convince her for years.
I'm fine with like a cabin, like the cabins at Mount Charleston have DirecTV.
Really? Yeah, dude. Look at that thing. Come on. Look at that thing.
That's a strong chin.
Yeah. Like my hand would break if I punched him.
Well, it's a good target, though.
Wouldn't matter. Look at that.
It almost looks like he's had each side added on. Like he's got a defined. It's like defined right here. That's where it's supposed to be. Like you could just lop off part of it. He'd be fine.
Very true.
Just get rid of this and rid of this.
Right. Jaw implants.
We're going to talk a lot about chins tonight on the show. Yeah. So I got I saw a guy walk up to the house on camera, old guy, and he walks up and disappears for a second, kind of behind a pillar. And usually that's where people will drop boxes. I'm like, well, this is kind of late, Didn't ring the doorbell. So I was super curious. I'm like, okay, let me run out there and see what just happened. I was a little suspicious. I walk out, the guy's gone, and then I see a truck pull off, right? Some sort of kind of boxy, I don't know if it was a van or, an SUV. There's just a Smith's bag hanging on, around the doorknob, and the bag is kind of sagging in kind of a dewdrop. That's like, it's kind of heavy. So my first thought, because I go right to okay, something's wrong here, is I thought it might be a bag of shit. But I don't know why I thought that. I'm like, listener finally found me, and now, here you go. So I grabbed the bag, I brought it in, Why not? Right?
You keep thinking it was a shit bag?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Ooh, no sense of smell. That's dangerous.
It is. It is bad. Yes, I actually, as he was running away, I shot him. Yes, I just that was it. Just open. I left out that part of the story. It's a good point. 24/7 Amazon. I agree. Any guesses on what it was? Any guesses? Last time, Adam, you weren't in the day where I think John, you were here, right? When I said like at 4:00 during the show,
Cookies.
we're doing the show from our houses, and someone dropped off something at the front door. I walk out, and it's a plate of cookies with some saran wrap on it. Now, it turned out it was a friend of the SO's.
It's weird, by the way. It's weird that you've gotten multiple deliveries in this fashion.
Isn't it? It could have been a bag of spaghetti. That's the way the bag was shaped.
Cooked?
Okay.
Like cooked spaghetti?
Cooked spaghetti with some sauce, right? Sure.
Would be better if it was dry or cooked.
Paul Feinbaum, we were talking shit about him last week. He could have sent someone.
That was good.
Let's see. Lots of choices here. Beef jerky, poop, Paw Patrol dolls.
No.
No.
Need Sky if you're,
It was actually this in a bag. Let me lift this up.
Another cat? Oh. Tamales. Score. From where?
Well, you can see where.
No.
Oh, I can't. What is it? I just see street.
This is date and contents blank. Here's the other side. Here's the top of the bag. Nothing.
Oh, street.
Unlabeled bag of tamales.
Full of crap. You have no idea who gave that to you?
And here's the corner. That's the corner of the bag.
Is it broken?
What? It's cut.
Yeah,
It's
like
cut.
there's a piece taken out.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat those.
Really? Why not?
What?
Dude, I have no idea. A rat ate it, yeah. The fuck? Anthrax.
Who just sends tamales?
At the very least, you're going to open them and like cut them up, right? And see if there's anything in them.
I mean, I don't know. How would I test them? Because they were frozen when they got. They're actually still kind of frozen.
Wait, they're frozen?
I smelled in the bag. It's definitely not poop. It looks like chicken. What's that?
You sure it's not cake? Like that stupid trend where they're making cakes to look like everything?
Everything's cake.
Right.
They actually smell good. Let me get it.
That's how they get you.
I don't know if I want to touch these.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not going to eat them, you should at the very least like thaw them out and break them up to see if anybody was trying to sabotage you. Personally,
I feel like somebody on Instagram
Yummy.
or Twitter that we know was saying that they're making tamales for gifts and they want to know who wants them. I can't remember who it is. I'm trying to
Really?
see if I can find it.
I am going to keep them. I'm going to freeze them for a couple of days because I feel like someone's going to own up to it, and it was a legit gift. But the bag is kind of creepy. All of it's kind of creepy.
Okay, if it was a legit gift, would you eat it? Like, would you eat it if it was actually somebody brought it as a gift to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love the explanation of who actually dropped it off. I wish I should have pulled that video too.
I would rather know I would want to know the answer to the whole.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like if somebody told you, yeah, Steve, it was me, and you knew the person, but then their follow up was, but I didn't do anything about that hole. Like then I think that ruins the tamales.
All right, we have an offer. Jay Lawrence says if I don't eat him, he will. Okay,
make sure you stream it.
I feel like even if you knew the person, it'd be tough.
I love that you've eaten way worse. The fucking Hostess pies. They're not that bad. They're not healthy.
They're not good.
Are you talking about the fruit pies?
Yeah.
Which dicey restaurant in Chinatown yesterday? All right, I'm curious.
Thanks, Brady.
It was Brady's gift from Cabo.
Yeah, Brady. I actually have a question. You can either comment or send it offline. But were the bars at the airport open? It's very important.
At the airport, the ones outside?
Yeah. Everybody's coming in at different times, so we're deciding if we can congregate at the bar at the airport or meet somewhere else. I'm doing my tour guide questions on the show now. Brady was just there, so he'd know. The ones outside of the baggage claim, like where you're waiting for your shuttle.
Right.
I think they are because I think I saw on Instagram somebody was posting from there, but
Why
I
is
don't
this
know.
important?
Everybody's arriving at different times.
Yeah.
So we're deciding if we should all just wait at the airport. Like it's all within like 2 hours, but if we should wait at the airport or just meet at the resort. But I feel like waiting at the airport is better if the bars are open.
God, who is this guy?
Trying to find out Tamale Man?
Well, he's looking at the Ring doorbell. Yeah.
That's kind of freaky.
There he is walking. He disappears for a
If
second.
it's somebody you know, wouldn't they? I guess it's late.
You
So
don't
wouldn't
recognize
they-
them at all, huh?
No.
Unless
there he is walking off. Let me see if I can hear anything. Nope. Can't hear a car. I saw a car driving away, but I don't know that it was him. I should have run out. Be like, what the fuck?
John, would you?
throw
If
them
you
at him. Take your fucking tamales. Fuck.
I feel like wouldn't you at least knock on the door and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, you're right. He didn't knock, huh? That was
Nope.
it.
Didn't
Yeah,
knock.
that's weird.
Didn't ring the bell.
Maybe. Okay. Here's another thing. What if the guy got the tamales, tried one, and was like, "Holy shit, these are terrible. I have to get rid of these somehow." And so he just stopped his car, hopped out, and just left them on your porch, so he didn't have to deal with them.
Well, because my thing, like, I feel like you should at least knock, even if you don't stay to talk to somebody.
Right.
Don't you at least knock to get their attention? Because if you're leaving food outside somebody's door, it's possible you're just attracting animals too.
Yeah.
Especially with a hole in the bag.
What animals are we talking about? Steve's cats? Like, I don't know if you're attracting many
There's
animals.
a lot of cats in the every once in a while there's a coyote.
I live in coyote country down here, so that's what I'm thinking. But I guess you're enough in the middle of the city.
Like all these animals start being attracted. Like,
No, it's a long ways. There was one about 2 years ago, but the animal control said it probably came through all the the tunnels and the wash channels.
Yeah, I think
Adam,
you're central enough, I guess.
Adam, you were actually over my house last night. Are the lights too much? Did someone drop off the tamales to say "fuck you"? Enough of the lights, goddamn it!
The lights are a bit much, but I don't think anybody would do that. Like nobody's giving you tamales because of your lights. I don't think.
these are great.
I mean, like they're mad about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like out of spite, like fuck you, take some tamales. How bad would the tamales have to be?
Right.
Yeah, that's Steve's house.
The light setup's not that obnoxious.
That's your house?
Yeah.
Dude, I'd hate living next to you.
It's not that bright. Believe me, it's going to get a lot worse next year.
I definitely have one brighter on my street. I hate them, but
Why?
it's not as bad because it's too bright. But I would think, in all because it got on the list. I think of that. RJ does it, but I think other places do it too. Where they put out lists of all the like houses with the best lights,
Blinded. Shut up.
and then people drive by.
Oh yeah,
But
dude,
which is obnoxious.
I love it, man. I was driving tonight. I was driving up and down like Tenaya, kind of older part of town, but it's a lot of big houses. People really do it up there. I swear there was a Frosty that had to be 30 foot high. It was massive. Had to be $300-400 $300-400 minimum to get that inflatable.
So that means you looked at prices and you're trying to buy one.
No, I actually didn't. I was just I was guessing. I've never seen 30 foot. That was crazy.
Did he have a corn cob pipe?
He actually did have the pipe. It was actually an authentic Frosty. He did not have a long neck. It wasn't Trevor Lawrence Frosty.
He had a very strong chin.
Frosty Lawrence McDonald.
Vance McDonald type chin.
But Steve, worse than the lights, because the lights you can just live with. If you're in their house, you don't really see them that much. It's just the people driving by. The more obnoxious one is the people that have the music all the time.
What does that mean?
Like, don't do that. There's people
the holiday music. Yeah.
Yes, like playing all the time with their light display, like it goes along with it. Like it's sorry, you're not a tourist attraction. We don't want to go by. Now you become one. but like we don't need it on the neighborhood block of people playing music 24 hours a day.
Steve, are your inflatables like? Do they have to run on a fan, or do you like fill them up and then you tie them down?
No, they run on the fan, so they're on a timer. They're small. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want this to turn into a long conversation because I'll probably do a little more tomorrow. And I know you guys have topics, but Christmas clearance was fucking terrible this year. I was actually really depressed yesterday. 2 days ago.
Ooh.
I went to 3 Targets, 3 Walmarts, a couple other places, and there was nothing left. Nothing this year. Just awful.
And you're talking about just Christmas decor, correct?
Yeah, I wanted to buy a bunch of new inflatables, but yeah, anything. Oh, Christmas trees on clearance, ornaments, whatever. Everything was gone. Sucked. Yep.
I have a tree.
Man, I wait. I wait all year for these certain sales days, and I got nothing. Yeah, look, I know you couldn't find crap.
Yeah. Steve, I put up a tree on Christmas Eve.
What the fuck? Jay Lawrence, where'd you go? God
Did you go to Sears? The
Big
Sears
Lots.
still?
I'm guessing Big
Sears.
Lots.
I went to Big Lots too. I went to a Big Lots. It sucked.
Yo, Target on Christmas Eve was crazy.
Yeah. You went? Which one did you go to?
The Grand Canyon and Flamingo.
Oh, okay. I went to Blue Diamond.
Well, it's great. So I go there, right? And it was crazy. Like, it was insanely busy. And
Wait, I didn't hear what store. Are you just saying shopping or?
No, I went to Target on Christmas Eve, the one up on Flamingo and Grand Canyon, which, by the way, quick aside, my son, now he goes, let's go to Target, Dad. But I go to Target, and it was crazy. And for the self-checkout line, I want to say there was at least 20 people in line to go to self-checkout. You know what I mean? Like, it wrapped through that weird little area where they got, like, the discount stuff and then came back around in front of the makeup. But they had about, I would say, 7 check stands open. So I'm walking down. I only got like 6 things I got to buy really quickly. And I'm walking down, and I noticed that there's 2 check stands, like nobody's in line. The rest of them are packed. There's 20 people deep in the self-checkout. And I'm looking like the lights on for both of them. And me and this dude make eye contact. We both kind of look at each other like, are these both open? Like, all these people are like standing around, getting in line, swooped in. Bam. Got in and out, baby. All these idiots not paying attention. That was my story.
Were they not paying attention or were they there to pick up? Because I know the line of people pre-ordering and then picking up their stuff was way longer than the checkout line where I was.
Ooh.
Which is insane. Like, you would think that would be much quicker, but so many people were doing it that the line got very, very long. But to the point, somebody said that Target was sold out of all their stuff. I think it was pretty close. I bought the 3-foot tree and I bought some ornaments.
Nice.
I got those things, but pretty much everything else was gone. And for some reason, there was like 10 ornaments left, and one was a Seinfeld Festivus ornament.
Oh, nice.
So, could not have been any more perfect.
The sweater?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one too.
It's great.
Brady, by the way, yes, I was a seasonal Target employee a couple of years ago.
What, Adam, what did you buy? A real tree or a fake tree?
It's like 3 feet.
Fake
tree.
Yeah, it's fake.
Yeah.
Do you want a real tree?
No.
I have an extra tree.
No.
Come on, take it.
You have a fake. You're saying a fake one?
I have an extra 6-foot fake tree. Yeah.
No. I like my 3-foot one, and I don't really want a tree. I don't like Christmas, so I don't want to. I don't want to have a tree, but I definitely would not want a real one. If you get a real one, you're an asshole.
Oh, dude, my dad used to get them all the time.
Oh, your dad's not an asshole, but
it's such a pain in the butt.
No, I'm not going camping. Go find that treasure.
Are you going to keep the 3-foot tree?
Maybe. I like it. I got some lights.
That's what we have.
Got like 4 ornaments. It's on the counter in the kitchen.
Ours is on a TV tray thing. Like those little things. Yeah.
Nice.
Take a 6-foot tree next year.
I don't want a tree. I hate
UBT. Come on, you got a kid.
I already have a 6-foot tree.
Oh, you do? I thought you said you had a little tree.
We have 2. We have a 6-foot tree and a 3-foot tree. But the 6-foot tree didn't come out this year because I was just lazy.
So you have a tree and you just didn't put it out?
I put one of 2 out.
I love it.
Treason says, did Ari ever send you my Festivus message, Steve? I ripped all you bums, but have no idea if it ever made the air. I don't know.
If it was one of those poorly read tweets, then potentially.
There was one that we didn't play.
Oh, you want me to pull up the script?
Let me go back. He read it, so let me go back and see if I can. That's Wednesday.
Ari would lacked the energy. Steve, I hate you, and I'd like to murder you. Yeah. You're probably the worst radio host I've ever heard in my life.
Took a little steam out of the insults.
Your mother is a bitch.
Wait, real quick, Treason. What's your real name?
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I have all three here, but go ahead, Adam.
No, while Steve was looking for that, I thought it was going to take a minute, so I was going to ask JVT. But since we're talking about Festivus, what was your gripe with Brady?
Oh, Brady, yeah, I do have. Can I air a grievance? I have a grievance against Brady that I didn't get to air.
Yeah,
I'm asking for permission.
I want to hear it.
Do it,
Brady. I don't like your voice. That's it. He called. It was built up. I was excited. I don't like your voice.
You're saying he's better on Twitter than on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those cutting insults, the second you have spoken to them, like in person, I would have been like, okay.
But his call was good. But you were taken out of it by the voice?
Oh, yeah. Like, his call was very good. It was very well prepared. I enjoyed it. Still like your voice.
There's like nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
Something wrong with you.
Steve doesn't look entertained.
No, I'm trying to find. Now I'm on mission number 2. I'm trying to find Brady's call.
There was one really mean one to me.
Where to
which
begin?
I really liked.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
To wrap this up, winning this past week is the best. Adam Hill got a promotion. Adam Candy hasn't Carson City. Heard about it. If Ari's
He's got to hate something about Candy. Everyone.
That was a nod to Half Baked. Yeah, when he's quitting at the
I think it's
fast food
coming up
place,
here.
and he's like, you're cool.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
Brady is up. Brady, you're on Mexico. You're a lunatic.
in the infamous words of Supermarket Sweeps Johnny Gilbert, I've got a 4-foot Festivus pole, and I know exactly where Ari can shove it. Ari's contribution.
That was a good start. The 4-foot salami.
It's a great callback.
The writing was very good. All right, we'll keep. I'll stop talking and let's just play it.
To this show is similar to the Birds recording of Friday that was covered by Rebecca Black. It's non-existent. Ari's personality is so bland. There's nothing exciting about it. If Ari's personality was a dinner meal, Mike Grimala would order it.
Come on, that was.
It's a really good line. Like I said, it's very well written and very, very well delivered.
You just don't like his voice?
Yeah, you just want a power voice delivering it?
Yeah, I want Leon delivering that shit.
We'll send it off to Leon. Here's the great thing, though, about Leon, our voice guy, and Ari knows this. It may be a pronunciation nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. Like, Leon's got the voice to deliver digging commentary, but, man, you got to walk him through it. I think he's I don't know him personally, but he must be a really nice guy because when we ask him to get nasty, he just has a tough time.
So, this is one of the more fascinating things. We're going to be. Have you guys ever met Leon? Because I've pictured what Leon looks like so many times, and I would love to meet Leon in person. And I know I'll probably be disappointed because that voice is so powerful. I wonder what he looks like.
What if he?
Never what you think. It's never
right, exactly.
He's a dead ringer for Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have met him?
No.
Oh,
it'd just be funny.
Leon is the power voice guy for ESPN. Just to let people know.
Yeah, I met the guy who did Jim Rome for years. He was the power voice guy for Jim Rome. And when I saw him, I was like, "Whoa, okay, weird." Skinny white dude, dripping wet, 140 pounds.
Got to know. Hi, John. I can't even do it.
Leon's a 44-year-old woman.
Leon.
Ari talks about being a music producer. How can he produce music? He can barely produce Cofield and Company.
Angel laughing.
Justin Watson, can you do us a favor and go one full segment without telling us about your time in Carson City? Kardashian relationships last longer than Watkins public service. Adam Candy is so forgettable. He's a Peter Wofford of Cofield and Company. Who's the fifth member of the Rat Pack? Who's the random co-host of Cofield and Company? No one cares. Adam Candy.
Now that was a joke for the old part of the audience. When I heard him drop Peter Lawford, I was like, "Holy shit! Come on now!" But very much a Vegas tie-in. Very much.
Like,
that was good.
I like Justin's dig because Justin brings that up so much.
Carson City.
Yes.
Now look at Brett. Now Brady's getting on himself. He says, "I'm mad that I fucked up the Bischoff line coming up."
No, he really did fuck it up, but it's still like we knew where it was going, so it was still good. But he blew it.
He hasn't realized he doesn't work in government anymore. He spends all of his shows spouting off 3- and 4-letter acronyms: FBI, CIA, DVOA. He preps for the show by grabbing a handful of Scrabble tiles and calls them analytics. But here's the thing. 2020 has been a hard year, and I understand that. A lot of people have lost their jobs, but somehow Tyler Bischoff got a promotion. His claim to fame is being blocked by Coach Arroyo on Twitter. Prior to that, his claim to fame was sitting in a baby pool in a minor league swimming pool on the field. What skill does he have? You know, Adam Hill, though, is supposedly the woke person on the show, not to be confused with Ari, who we're not sure is awake.
It's good.
Adam Hill, though, has had a rough year. You know, had COVID, had cauliflower foot. It's similar to Jared. No one wants to see it. No one wants to hear about it. Madden rating, though, for Adam is surprisingly high. Adam, you get a 92 this year. Oh, never mind. That's just what you spent on Zeke and fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
But to wrap this up, Cofield, the Jets winning this past week is the best thing that's ever happened to you. You're a miserable human. You wouldn't know what to do with happiness. It would ruin you. You talk about cured meats all the time. No one cares. It's almost as worthless as Bischoff humping the leg of the light. But to circle back to Ari, he should be happy we're only celebrating Festivus with the airing of grievances, because if it was feats of strength, he wouldn't even stand a chance at Festivus.
Wow, that's a dedication.
Yikes. If I'm right, when Chrissy called in, did Chrissy basically call Ari a bitch?
I think so. I think that's what she was going for.
I have to go back and get that call later in the week, but I was like, whoa, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was definitely a shot. I just don't know exactly what she was going for.
Can I read my favorite one?
Yeah.
It was Treason, I agree. It was good. It was very good. Good job, Brady.
It was. Although, no, I don't want to make the joke. No, I won't do it.
Okay.
Just that the shot at the end, very unnecessary. If we're going by voice power rating, I think Ari and Brady might be a pretty even match.
Oh
wow.
Boy.
Well, this is getting ugly. Now we got two people who are really irked at Brady. Go figure. He's got a gift.
What were you going to read? That was the one you were reading?
No. So Ari sent me one. Apparently he recorded one that we never got to it. It was very, very angry, and I really liked it. And I got to find it because he sent it to me, and I can't for some reason find the text message conversation.
You don't have his number blocked?
Continuation of Bill Loney. We heard some comments at the end of the show. We had to cut him off due to the time constraints, but he definitely got some good stuff in on JVT. So here it goes. JVT is the guy that thinks everyone wants to hear about his wife and kid. Probably the same kind of guy that would say he didn't want to hear about people's wife and kids before he had them. Your family name used to mean something in Vegas. Doubt you'll return that name to any kind of glory. Kind of fitting. The only place the Von Tobel name remains is on a crappy school in the hood. Let the record show you asked to be bashed today. Wow. I should add that Bill sent in his original grievances. Even ended it with, sorry for the 3-parter. Couldn't call in today. Have a great show and thanks, Ari. And then an hour later, he just couldn't resist and felt the need to take a shot at JVT. So there's Bill Loney at Bill Loney 6.
Good commentary.
I also don't like those. It was inaccurate because there is a Von Tobel Park and community center.
True.
Yep.
Can't come in. Can't come back. Great.
Left Coast Mike, I think this is you. Hold on.
Finally, our buddy Left Coast Mike, who is now at cold_way. Mike says, here are my grievances to be aired. 1, I need JVT to change his stupid cadence as he talks. He sounds like Fat Mel Kiper walking up a flight of stairs. 2, when Steve pulls away from the mic to yell, it sounds like he is a 400-pound leprechaun being imitated by Frank Caliendo. 3, before Adam decides to come on the air, he needs to blow his nose and at least try to swallow the spit in his throat or freaking gargle. It sounds like he's talking with his leftover hairdryer cooked steak in his mouth. Ari and Candy, the actual cool guys on the show, I have no criticism for them.
Oh.
Ouch.
Oh.
And there you have it. Happy Festivus, everyone.
You have to cut that and make Ari's ouch a drop. When somebody ouch.
Ari also did that. He did that like Wednesday night, well after the show, before we were all heading out for a couple of days. So, or Thursday, maybe it was Thursday night. I don't know when he did it last minute. So, I appreciate him reading that biting commentary. He'll get better. He'll get better. Takes a little practice. Boy, this whole thing ground to a halt. Thanks, Ari.
Good job.
Always Ari's best contribution.
All right, we got to close on some NBA. This is a big night for you, right, John? Because you love all the players from the Rice era. Many of them who got crapped on or underappreciated. What did Chris Wood do today?
So Chris Wood, I sent this to you earlier. His first quarter was actually really fantastic. Him and Derek Jones Jr. had a great night today. 14 points, 5 of 9, 3 of 5 from three-point range for Christian Wood in the first quarter alone. He finished with 23 points tonight. He has been absolutely spectacular. Like, he's been awesome. He has been arguably one of the better free agent signings that we have seen, and it's pretty clear that it's not a flash in the pan. Like, he's a really high-leveled offensive player. He can stretch the floor. He looks really good in Houston. And Derek Jones Jr. Not only blocked LeBron, also had another attempt in which he stripped Anthony Davis late in the Portland Trailblazers win over the Lakers. He was great, dude. And they ran a play so they could ISO AD on Derek Jones Jr. They wanted that matchup, and he stripped AD and took it the other way in transition. Like, UNLV had such talented players, and these two dudes are pros. DJJ got, 2 years, $19 million. Chris Wood got his deal too. It's just kind of cool thinking back to covering that team. And that was like one of the first teams I got to cover as like a member of sports media, and just how good that at least those two have become. Like, they're real professionals, man. UNLV had some really good talent on that floor that we got to watch in person. And I think we should be pretty lucky. And on top of that, as you well know, I'll bring it up every time, Chris Wood getting shit on the way that he was when he was leaving the program, and people dancing, and tap dancing on the grave, essentially, for lack of a better term, during his draft night when he had that picture taken of him. He's brokenhearted. I think the journey is incredible. So I'm down with it. I loved watching it tonight.
Jones, Adam and I defended him time and time again. So, and I'm not joking. I've been tweeting out for the last, whatever it is, 4 years that he's been gone. I'm like, best UNLV big man of the century. Because individually he had one of the best years, and since he's left, he's taken off. Yeah. Even better than Brandon McCoy.
Jones is starting, right? Brandon McCoy never wanted to play basketball, by the way. That was the problem. Yeah, that was always a problem. Jones is starting for Portland. Do they have guys out, or is he going to be a starter?
I don't think he was projected to be a starter, so they might have just been sliding him in for a matchup here with the Lakers, right? They're a little big. You want to get him more athleticism out there.
Because I did see, there are ways to kind of handle him a little bit, and obviously offensively he struggled tonight, as he often does. But what he does defensively is so good. But at one point late in the game, he was on LeBron.
Yep.
And then they started sending LeBron to the post, and LeBron's like, let's go to the post. But he held up. He fouled him a couple times, but he held up against him, for the most part. But he's much better, obviously, as a secondary defender coming over and just causing havoc.
Dude, he's like a high energy guy. It's really cool. Like I mentioned, he did swat LeBron one time, and there was another that wasn't an actual block, didn't count for one. But he just comes screaming in out of nowhere after a foul was called, and LeBron just puts it up. And his momentum's carrying him, and he just smacks the backboard with both of his hands and swats another LeBron shot. It wasn't a field goal attempt, that one, but he was freaking everywhere, dude. Yeah, Kem Birch, that's a really good point. That's a really good point, Jim. Kem Birch has been a quality front court rotation member for Orlando for many years now. Many years. He's been really good.
Is Orlando good?
I mean, they're like Eastern Conference, okay, like 7 seed.
They just, I know record. It matters who you play early, but off to such a good start, I'm like, I wonder if they're actually good.
Well, the
But
Cavs are 3-0 too.
I don't watch it at all, so I have no idea. Oh, the Cavs backcourt is dynamic.
Yes, 3-0 Cavaliers. And how about that last night? The Hornets, Cavaliers, and Knicks all winning on the same night, beating the Nets, the Bucks, and the 76ers.
Could this be? I was thinking about this with the Cavaliers. Could they have like a future McCollum Lillard on their hands?
I think it's possible, right? I think you have to have a lot of faith in the backcourt that you have. And Andre
Garland and Sexton look like they could both be 20-point per game guys.
Sexton was last year. He finished exactly, I think it was like 20.1 points per game last year. So I would say yes. Like you have to really like what they have offensively. Defensively is obviously a very big question. So we'll see what's going to happen there. And the rest of the team has to shake out, right? Isaac Okoro, a lot of people think that they very highly of him. But you would think Andre Drummond's going to be a tradable piece because he's an expiring contract. So what the rest of the team looks like is going to be interesting. And Kevin Porter Jr.'s got some off-court troubles, but I know that they're high on him and what his ceiling could be offensively.
Did you guys mention another team with young players in the Wolves?
So I only watched one game with Minnesota, and that was the Pistons game. But I haven't watched a lot of them.
Okay. Because, I'm trying to look at the latest numbers. Anthony Edwards has come out looking kind of good. Playing like 20 minutes a night. Every box I've seen, what did he do against Utah? Was that the game he had 18?
Yeah, he had. I'll look it up right now. I've been surprised by him, especially in his debut, because you're right. I didn't think he was going to be a very good offensive player. Like I thought he was just going to kind of fit in and be like a defensive guy. So 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2.3 assists. Utah game. Let's see. His last game wasn't great.
Yeah.
28.6% from the floor against the Lakers, and he had 15 points. But 18 against Utah, 66% from the field, 66% from three-point range. He's shown some flashes.
How long is Cat going to be out for, though?
Let me double-check.
They're bringing Culver and Edwards off the bench.
Yeah.
And Culver's only 21. God, that's the other thing. It's so nuts. I was looking at the Portland performance tonight, and Gary Trent has 7 threes. He's 21. Who's the other kid? Anthony Simons. Where was he going? Where was he going to school? And then he said, "Forget it." He's 21.
Yep.
They have all these dudes on the bench, so they're like, "Yeah, we'll keep drafting high school players." And then like 5 years from now, it's like, "Oh, they didn't do anything." Yeah, they're 23. Look at the bench they have now.
That's I want to one of the things I really liked about Portland in the offseason was that they didn't have to dip into that, right? They still have Collins, they still have Simons, they still have Trent Jr., they still got to acquire Covington. Like if they start to get better, like they're going to be really deep, dude. And Gary Trent Jr. today was absolutely ridiculous. The way he shoots, it's fucking nuts.
And then yet there's other teams that never seem to build any sort of core because every goddamn draft pick they make is basically a bench player and not a guy who has upside, which is
not
kind
the
of
Nets.
That's what the draft is about.
Not the Nets. Your Nets, Steve. Deep team.
The Nets have done a good job. The Nets did a good job building the roster.
That's right. They're feisty. They were very feisty today. Joe Harris got a technical today.
I bet. Did you? What'd you have, Matt? You had a -4 though, right?
I bet him at -4. It was like an hour after they announced the KD news, and I assumed they would have announced Kyrie sitting as well when they announced KD. So I gave it an hour, and then 2 minutes not even 2 minutes after I hit place bet, it was announced that Kyrie wasn't playing.
I looked in game. It was 18-9. Nets were down. My options were +5.5 or money line, so I took the money line. They lost 116. They lost 116, 111. I was like +195. I'll take this. Nope.
It sucks because they were playing really well. DeAndre Jordan really did not play very well. Yep, went to overtime and got burned defensively a couple times. Got called for a goaltending, if I remember correctly.
That jaw injury looked bad.
Yeah, dude. Especially the way he reacted. That's what got me. Yeah. You see guys, land on their ankles like that all the time. But the fact that he one-legged himself all the way off the court and just sprawled out and refused to put any weight on it, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, they got the wheelchair out for him.
Yep. So I haven't seen anything with MRIs. And Karl Anthony Towns, by the way, it's still indefinite. They don't know. They don't know yet how many games he's going to miss.
He dislocated his wrist. That doesn't sound good.
No, you would think. I read one report that it was just waiting for like a swelling type of deal.
Disaster.
It's back, baby. The NBA.
NBA.
They're going to power through like the NFL. They'll never postpone games. It's going to be a dream.
So what are we going to do every Monday night now? You guys both going to be in?
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think that it's going to be me and Adam, and we're going to take over on Mondays.
I like it.
We've been given permission.
Boot the dead weight, Cofield.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. And I got to set up a Twitter handle, but what's your name? What's the name of the show going to be?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. We're going to have a Twitter handle for the show?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Should
I'm
we
going
rethink
to.
this?
I'm not going to.
Okay, thank God. Yeah. What are we calling it? I don't even remember.
Should we rethink the name then? If it's going to be that serious?
It's not that serious.
If we have our own Twitter handle, then we got to be serious about it. I think my proposal, and I think John was okay with it, is that we're going to be smarter than you. As in, we might not be smart, but we're definitely smarter than you.
Such an asshole.
Very true. So
We're excited for that. Smarter than you.
Look at how excited they are for the name. They're both like all giggly.
it's a good one.
It's so perfect.
Total dicks. Well, that's why I acted like a baby earlier when I was arguing about Josh Allen and comeback player of the year. And I was like, forget it. You're smarter than me. I give up.
Conceded.
Yeah,
That's right when we thought of the name. When you were doing that, we're like, we're smarter than you.
That's a great idea.
Well, it's immediately every day, especially on social media. I'm sure you just freaking rumble to yourself anytime you're in a conversation with someone who's coming at you hard.
Doug's got a good one. Heavyweight champs. That's pretty good. It's a good point, though. Yeah, see, I like smarter than you. I feel very smart. I think I've won every single one of my arguments I've ever been in.
Ever?
Yeah. Undefeated.
That's right.
Well, you do solo on Visa, and they're like, we can't match this guy up against anyone. He's killing everyone.
And then every time I take a vacation day, Steve, they got to get two people up at that desk, you know? It's just, you got to make up for it.
We should make the show undefeated in arguments.
It's a good one. I want to do an undisputed format, you know? That's what we're going to do on Mondays from now on.
We're going to get a countdown of topics on the side of the screen.
Right.
We are branching out. Kirk and Adam will be doing a podcast called Camping with Tamales and shit.
Dude, camping's so much fun. I've been trying to convince Isabel to give it a go. She will not.
Like I said, like a cabin type of situation is totally fine. But if you're saying like go out and actually
camping,
put a tent up with like spikes and cook your food on a fire, just why?
Dude, it's
do you understand the centuries and centuries of evolution that we came from living in that type of situation to be civilized and be what we are now?
Dude, it's great. Besides, you're not even like really doing anything. It's like you drive your car up to a lot that is next to a little piece of water. Like it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just very safe. It's not even real camping, but just the feeling of roughing it, accidentally stepping in the lake in your socks and getting almost like a just terrible, terrible flu the next day. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I think maybe my problem with camping, and I think it goes with a lot of the outdoors are just kind of stupid in general. But I think my real like being soured on the camping world is that my dad loved camping, but he was like a terrible camper. He wanted to go camping all the time. Yeah, unprepared and not ready. And then one time, like a bear ate all of our food. I was like, "What are we doing?"
That'll happen when you go camping, bro.
Yeah, but like we didn't know how to make it so the bear wouldn't smell the food. Like it was the food just out.
You got to hang it up on a branch, bro.
That's the camping world I came from, so it probably makes sense that I don't like it, but I don't think I would have anyway.
Tie it to a string, put it in a pouch, then drape that bad boy over a branch so it's out of the reach of the bear.
You do all this?
Yeah, when you go camping, man. The wild's a crazy place. Some say it's wild. You got to take care of stuff. I love camping.
So we're clear. I did not see the bear when we woke up in the morning.
That's your only
the people in the RV next to us were like, "Hey, You shouldn't leave your food out like that. A bear was out here and ate the food. They were not happy with us.
You'd go camping with PJ in a Goofy movie.
What does that mean?
You don't remember that? When Goofy and his son go out on the camping trip and his son's friend PJ goes camping too with his dad, but there's just their version of camping is just like a giant tricked out RV.
Yeah.
And Max really wants to, stay at the RV, but Goofy doesn't want him to. He wants father-son trip. It's the whole message of the movie.
So wait,
Father-son.
a dog went camping?
Yeah, it took his son.
Isn't their whole life basically camping?
No, I mean, there's the whole Powerline concert too. He wants to go, Max, to California to see Powerline perform. Goofy wants to spend time on a road trip, and they just got to learn how to, work together, be a family.
I mean, aren't they going outside all the time? Like that's where they go to the bathroom and stuff. Like
No,
that's.
I get the bit that you're trying to do here. They're dogs, but it's a Disney movie.
I feel like your pitch of this new podcast peaked about 3 minutes ago, and now you're starting to lose. If these are the kind of bits Adam's going to put out there, shaky.
Right.
It's not a bit. We're discussing Disney movies. That's
I'm
probably
clearly hilarious, and Adam needs to work on it.
Yep.
Yes.
Don't bring this whole thing down, man.
I'm already quitting.
Homeward
And you're
Bound sucked, Brady.
And you're going to pass on Brady's forever undefeated.
FU. That's a good
FU.
one.
It'll be good. It'll be a good one.
The FU podcast. I'm sure there's about
That's
500 of those.
STY.
Homeward Bound 2 is
Yes.
better.
That's a hot take right there.
Oh,
I didn't
dude.
watch the second one.
Have you guys seen Hachi?
What the fuck is that?
You want a feel-good movie about a dog, bro? Hachi is the way to go. Trust me.
How why is what happens to the dog that you feel good about it?
Well, it's actually just a terrible story. Actually, it's pretty sad. It's about a dog who I will give away the plot. Just check that one out. And if you want to see the saddest movie of all time, Grave of the Fireflies. That movie ended, and I looked around at my wife and I said, "What the fuck did we just watch?" It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was the saddest movie I've ever watched.
Did it take a turn that was sad, or was it sad all the way
No,
through?
it was just a movie that literally just the whole time was just got worse for the main character, got worse for the main character, got worse for the main character. And you're like, here it is. It's going to turn around. And it's like main character died in the subway the next day. And it was like, what the fuck? And that's it.
I kind of want to watch that now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, this really is what the show is going to be about. I sent you this. What?
Would you help the cat?
How are you going to help it?
I think you go up and obviously there's an obvious way to help it, but I just wonder, I feel bad. He's clearly or she is clearly exhausted.
It's just that's enough. I can't.
Yeah.
Make a run for it.
So Isabel asked me this question. I'll ask you guys. Did the cat make its way all the way down to that point and is just exhausted and can't do it anymore? Or did it jump onto the escalator, started going up and freaked out and started to try to make its way back down? I like to think that it already made its way back down and got tired.
No, I think the second one. I think it jumped up there not knowing what was happening. It started riding up and it was like, oh crap, I got to try to get back down. Because if you came from the top, wouldn't you just allow yourself to go back up to the top?
I don't know if cats think that intricately.
The instinct, you're going up. Wouldn't the instinct be to just go back to where you came from?
Yeah.
I think that's why he's trying to get back down, because he thinks that's the only way to safety, because that's where he was before.
Steve's the cat expert. I want to know what his thoughts are.
Well, no, I'm trying to think. Adam, what would your dogs do?
Depends which one. Lucy would just ride it. She'd be like, yeah, wherever this goes, that's where I go. Baron, I think Baron would freak out. He would be terrified. He would start barking very loud and just not know what to do. I'm pretty sure that's how they would handle it. But
I don't know. I'd like to see every pet try it because I don't know what the answer is. I have no idea what they would do. No clue.
I think the instinct would be go back wherever you started to try to get back in that direction. But it's
John,
tough.
what about your cat?
Oh, she'd quit. Well, she's kind of young and little though, so I think she'd quit pretty quickly. Or am I thinking that the wrong way?
Don't you think she would try to? Don't you think she would try to jump up on the side?
That was my other thought too.
I could see a lot of cats like going up, trying to go up the side and bounce off the side back onto it.
Right. And just like fuck. Or try to like jump up and misjudge it and they're just like pawing real quick and then falling.
Spray on the side. Yeah.
My cat does. I didn't realize cats had actually some upper body strength. My cat at times won't time the jump enough and will like just go like this, like boom, and like latch onto the thing that she's trying to get on and just pull herself up like with her front paws. I didn't realize cats had that much upper body strength.
Well, the other thing they can do, like when they jump on walls and shit, it's like they bounce off the wall.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they can climb a wall and they're like they jump halfway up the wall and all of a sudden they can scale a 10-foot wall and you're like you weren't even close to making it.
They do the ninja double jump.
I don't know how they do it. They can go anywhere they want if they're smart ones. Now this one, I don't know. This one might be kind of dumb.
Jackie Chan Rebel in the Bronx jump, you know.
Let's not even open this one up. This will get ugly, real ugly.
That's a terrible take. I do think that was a perfect metaphor for this year, though. Like that cat fighting its way down an escalator. It's never going to get there. It's just like, what is going on? It's very much this year.
Is that's December, whatever it is, 28th, basically?
Yeah.
We've tried to make it. Like, fuck it. Let's just ride it for the next 3 days to the end of the year.
What more can happen? I guess we'll find out.
All right, there you go. So there's a big announcement. John and Adam will be up on Mondays at 10:30 with a podcast named something. We think smarter than you, but they'll be here. Yes, very exciting stuff. I'm glad you're doing it. So we're back tomorrow night. As who by the way, who didn't someone call into Festivus and bitch out Hansel and Gretel? Like, take it easy. Poor Alex and Allie are trying on Tuesdays in spite of some bad luck recently, and someone's got to call in and that Tuesday crew's no good. Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel.
That's a great reference. It did make me laugh, even though it's me. It made me laugh.
Alex has a really nice microphone.
Not last week he didn't. Last week was a fucking disaster. He moved from Orange County up to Silver Lake. They're renting a house. The internet sucks. We spent 50 minutes of like an hour and 10-minute podcast with him struggling, and we'd try to give him encouraging words. Like, yeah, it's not that bad. It was terrible the whole time. So
it was like Ari that one time.
I wish it was like Ari. You know what? But there is nothing more frustrating than crap all the internet because you can't do anything about it, and it seems like 3 visits from the freaking whoever the provider is, and it still don't work. So not good. Not good. It was like Ari for months.
Hansel and Gretel tomorrow night.